Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns has now returned to WWE. However, a veteran feels that not only was it not enough, but that the company also let down fans. Roman Reigns returned on the latest episode of Raw to attack CM Punk and Seth Rollins. However, the epic end to the show was not enough to save Raw, according to wrestling veteran Vince Russo. He pointed out that even the most obvious return by Roman Reigns would not be enough to save WWE Raw this week. He noted that the show was just not good enough to be emanating from Madison Square Garden. He went on to say that despite whatever clicks they got on social media, this would not be enough. Sorry, man, even Roman coming out at the end ain't gonna save this ****** show. This is disgraceful for a garden show. But, hey, as Disco says, they'll probably get 11 billion hits on social media. The star has returned now and is set to be in what appears to be a triple threat feud with Seth Rollins and CM Punk going forward. However, after what happened on the show, fans will have to wait and see what Paul Heyman's role will be. The Wisemen may have an alliance with CM Punk. Roman Reigns seemingly takes a shot at two top stars as Raw goes off the air. Roman Reigns made a huge statement on Monday Night Raw after returning for the first time in over a month to get revenge on not one but two superstars. He seemingly took a shot at them as the show went off the air. The main event of Raw this week saw an incredibly thrilling steel cage match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, one that was also a big kickout fest as both finishers of Rollins and Punk weren't enough to put them away. Instead, Rollins won inadvertently by getting choked out by the returning Roman Reigns, who took him out of the cage. As Raw was going off the air, Roman Reigns was seen looking at the damage and assessing the scene for which he was directly responsible. In the video below, you can see how he subtly takes shots at CM Punk and Seth Rollins. All signs are heading toward a WrestleMania collision between the three megastars. It began before the Royal Rumble, but that moment during the Rumble took things to a whole new level. While Punk eliminated Rollins and Reigns as they were busy brawling, Reigns also got caught in the crossfire. This was the reason behind his assault on Rollins. It could also mark the first time in the 2020s that Reigns will compete in a non-title match at WrestleMania. The atmosphere in the WWE Universe had been electric since Roman Reigns' long-awaited return. After months away from the ring, the Tribal Chief finally made his way back to SmackDown, stepping into his yard once again. The Bloodline had been in shambles in his absence, with Solo Sikoa taking matters into his own hands and introducing new members. However, while fans expected a dominant return from Reigns, it quickly became clear that not everyone was impressed. A certain WWE veteran had something to say, and it wasn't in Reigns' favor. Roman Reigns returns, but the power shift is real. The night started with the grand entrance everyone had been waiting for. Roman Reigns, flanked by Paul Heyman and a furious Solo Sikoa, made his way to the ring. The undisputed WWE Universal Champion had been away since WrestleMania, and the world wanted to know how he would respond to the chaos within the Bloodline. Solo had recruited the monstrous Jacob Fatu, and whispers in the locker room suggested that Reigns' leadership was now being questioned even within his own faction. Reigns took the microphone, his presence alone enough to silence the crowd. "This is my show. My island. And I don't care who you think you are, you fall in line, or you get out," Reigns growled, staring straight at Solo. The tension was undeniable. Solo remained motionless, his cold expression unreadable. Even Heyman, who had once been the most confident voice in the Bloodline, looked unsure. Reigns had returned, but the shift in power was real. A WWE veteran calls out Roman Reigns. Just as fans were digesting Reigns' powerful words, a familiar theme hit. The crowd erupted as none other than Randy Orton stormed onto the stage. The Viper had unfinished business with Reigns, and he wasn't about to let the Tribal Chief forget it. Orton wasted no time. "You come back here acting like nothing has changed?" Orton scoffed, pacing at the top of the ramp. "Roman, the last time I checked, you were the one running scared. You disappeared after WrestleMania, left your little henchmen to fight your battles, and now you want to pretend like you still run the place? The crowd exploded at Orton's bluntness. Reigns remained composed, though his grip on the championship tightened. I've been here. I've fought. I took you out before, and I'll do it again, Orton continued, his voice dripping with venom. But now, Roman, there's a difference, you're not the head of the table anymore. You're just another guy trying to reclaim his spot. And guess what? The locker room has moved on. The Viper wasn't holding back, and it was clear that his words stung. Paul Heyman tries to control the narrative. As Orton continued, Paul Heyman stepped forward, trying to de-escalate the situation. Mr. Orton, with all due respect, my tribal chief does not need to prove anything to you or anyone else. Roman Reigns is still the most dominant force in WWE, and the disrespect you are showing is unbecoming. Orton cut him off. Shut up, Paul. The arena erupted. Orton smirked as Heyman's jaw dropped in disbelief. Your boy over there has been protected for years. I'm done waiting. If you really want to prove you're still the guy, Roman, how about you stop hiding behind your wise man and actually fight? Solo Sikoa's loyalty in question. Before Reigns could respond, Solo Sikoa stepped forward, his presence alone creating tension. He took the microphone from Heyman and turned to Orton. You don't get to talk about my family like that, Solo growled. But then he turned to Reigns. And you don't get to talk to me like I'm beneath you. A collective gasp swept through the arena. Roman Reigns' eyes widened, the crowd stunned by Solo's defiance. Orton smirked, sensing the cracks forming. Oh, Roman. Looks like even your own family is tired of your act. The Bloodline's next civil war? Reigns took a deep breath, composing himself. He slowly turned to Solo, then to Orton. If you think I'm scared, Randy, you're more delusional than I thought, Reigns finally said. You want to fight? Fine. Next week, you and me, one-on-one. The arena shook with excitement. Randy Orton nodded. I'll see you then, Chief. As Orton left, Solo and Reigns stood face to face. Heyman nervously looked between them, unsure of what would happen next. The battle for dominance had just begun, and Roman Reigns' return might not be enough to keep his empire intact. March 11, 2025, WWE Raw, Los Angeles, California. As WWE Raw came to a thunderous close, the WWE Universe was left buzzing with speculation. The undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, made a surprise appearance, and his words as the show faded to black seemed to be a direct shot at two of WWE's biggest stars. While he didn't mention names, the hints were clear. Reigns was sending a message, and the WWE landscape might never be the same. Reigns returns to Raw, but why? For weeks, Roman Reigns had been absent from WWE programming, focusing on his bloodline affairs on SmackDown while letting Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga handle business. Many believed Reigns was preparing for his eventual return at WrestleMania, possibly to reclaim dominance. However, when Raw's main event concluded, an intense tag match featuring Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins against the Judgment Day, the unexpected happened. As Cody and Seth stood tall, celebrating their victory over Damian Priest and Finn Balor, the screen flickered, and the unmistakable Shield's static glitch interrupted the post-match scene. The crowd roared, expecting something monumental. And then, his music hit. Draped in his signature golden lei, Roman Reigns slowly made his way down the ramp, his cold stare locked on Cody and Seth. No Paul Heyman. No bloodline. Just Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the needle mover, in the middle of Raw, an unusual sight. The message, a warning or a challenge? Picking up the mic, Reigns smirked as the crowd showered him with both boos and cheers. His first words were cryptic. So, this is what Monday Night Raw looks like without me? The Los Angeles crowd erupted, sensing the tension brewing. Cody and Seth exchanged a wary glance, both knowing that Reigns' words carried weight. But the champion wasn't finished. I sit back and watch from my island. I see two men fighting for the spot that already belongs to me. I see two men trying to run this place like they built it. But let me remind you of something, this house? I designed it. I made it worth something. And when the real king returns, the pretenders scatter. The indirect but obvious implication set the WWE Universe on fire. Was he calling Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins pretenders? The two former Shield brothers turned rivals? Cody, the man who beat him at WrestleMania? And Seth, the reigning World Heavyweight Champion? Reigns paced the ring, smirking as the crowd chanted, "Roman sucks." He let the moment breathe before delivering the final shot. You can put all the gold on your shoulders. You can call yourself the Visionary or the American Nightmare. But at the end of the day, the only name that truly matters in this business is Roman Reigns. And trust me, I'm not done yet. Then, in a shocking moment, he dropped the mic and left the ring without another word. No physicality. No fight. Just a simple, chilling statement that left Cody and Seth staring after him, confusion and frustration etched on their faces. Who was the bigger target? While some fans believed Reigns was only addressing Cody, others pointed out that he may have been targeting Seth Rollins just as much. Cody Rhodes dethroned Reigns at WrestleMania 40, a feat many thought was impossible. If Reigns was sending a message, it could mean that he wasn't done with Cody, despite losing the title. Was he hinting at a rematch? Or was this a psychological tactic to keep Cody looking over his shoulder? Seth Rollins had always been a thorn in Roman's side. He was the one man in WWE who had never been pinned by the tribal chief. He had embarrassed Reigns at Royal Rumble 2022 by forcing a DQ finish and had taken shots at the Bloodline's dominance on multiple occasions. Now, as World Heavyweight Champion, he represented a rival force of power within WWE. The fact that Reigns mentioned two men fighting for the spot that already belongs to him heavily suggested that he saw both Cody and Seth as challengers to his throne, even without holding a championship himself. What happens next? As Raw went off the air, backstage reports quickly emerged that WWE officials were heavily considering Reigns' next move. While WrestleMania 41 was still a year away, could this be setting the stage for something bigger? A triple threat at SummerSlam? If Reigns isn't finished, could he insert himself into the Cody-Seth title picture, making it a blockbuster main event for SummerSlam? A one-on-one rematch with Cody? If Reigns believes Cody's title win was a fluke, would he demand a WrestleMania rematch? Reigns versus Rollins, the final chapter? If Seth still remains unpinned by Reigns, could this be Reigns' way of finally proving his dominance once and for all? One thing is certain, Roman Reigns isn't stepping aside. Whether Raw, SmackDown, or WrestleMania, the head of the table has spoken. And when he speaks, the entire WWE listens. As for Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, they have a decision to make. Stand their ground or prepare for war, because Roman Reigns is far from done.